Greetings, Minecrafters. Nonsanity here, and welcome to another episode of All the Mods 9 to the Skies. Alright, we're doing blood magic this go around, and I want to get through the whole thing in one episode if I can, so let's get started. I'm going to have to come right over here and grab the blood altar out of here, and I think I've got the sacrificial knife in here. I have made a room. This is my blood magic room. And it looks nothing like blood magic, and I like that about it. If we take this elevator down, the orange is the ziggurat that will be built upon, and we're going to put the blood altar right there. But it wouldn't be one of my videos if we don't do lots of automation. So, one of the first things I'd like to do is some more integrated dynamics. But we're not just doing a simple little piping scheme. We're going to do some of the programming. It's sort of programming. I think everybody should be able to handle this, even if programming is not your cup of tea normally. I guess we take that out and get rid of this crate. Because this isn't really programming. It's sort of like Googling things. You're looking things up. You're doing the tiniest little bit of math, just like a multiplication and a division. And everything else is just looking things up in a list. It's just that easy. So we're going to hook it up to the altar. Let's go downstairs here. And let's do it on this side of the altar. I have a block reader from Integrated Dynamics. I'm going to place that on the side and then hook some of this logic cable to it. And we'll come over like that. Oop, not there. Break that one. There we go. It's connected. Let's go back up above. And we'll bring it up like that. So this is going to be a display location for information about what's going on in the altar, because I've decided to completely cover it up. I think every now and then we will have to open that spot and get at it manually, but most of the time, for most of the work, it's going to be hidden away from us. And we're going to be looking at these display panels, which I'm going to place like so. And then we're going to cover everything up with concrete facades like that. And this is a trapdoor because I want to place the variable store block here. We haven't used this before in Integrated Dynamics, but it's rather important when you start getting slightly more complicated uses of variable cards like we got here. And I'm going to place the hyperbox right there. That'll be for later, but just to get it into place. All right, so let's go back down to that block reader here and open it up. Now this is going to tell us about the block it's attached to. Like right here it says, does it have a block? It does. True. What dimensions is it in? And I can't read that. I know you can't. Yeah, it's only a couple pixels tall. I think that's just the name of the dimension, which up in the corner there says biome, hyperbox, and it's off the edge of the screen. That's probably what that says. We could see here. These little cards, you place them in this slot and they pop over here. And now it's got the information in it. Let's go back up. We can pop that into here, and hyperbox 088. Oh, it's okay. It's a UUID, so it's a big long string, and then the name medical unit. So that is the specific name of this hyperbox that we are in. All right, now we know. I don't really need to keep that information around, so I'm going to craft this variable card back into a blank. And let's head back down and get the information I really want. All right, so it has block dimension. It's X, Y, and Z coordinate in the world. Since we're in the hyperbox, we're right at 0, 0, 0. So these are small numbers. Block, it's a blood altar. It knows what the block is. Tile entity NBT. This is an important one. This is the one we want. Biome, it doesn't have a biome, it seems, or it's got one that doesn't have a string name. That's what's showing up over here in the corner. Biome hyperbox. Light level 12. All right, but it's the NBT that we want. So we're going to place a card here, and now we've got a card. Now, you can see each of these has a different color. The color is the type of information is. This color, sort of purple, or blue, I guess it is, true or false, Boolean. Red is something. I don't know what it is. Maybe that's a string. X, Y, and Z here are integers. White is a block, an object, block information. There's also item. That's another type, but we don't have that here. This color blue, this light blue, is for NBT data. NBT data is how Minecraft stores extra information on objects, items, blocks. They can have a list of names and values. So each value has a name, and you can access it by that name. That's a string probably, and then an integer. So they all have types. And the cards, once they've been placed, this has light blue corners. That tells you it's NBT data. And the block image sets a real-world block that it's associated with. I think that's how it works. Now we can come over here and place this into the display panel and look at it. Remember I said NBT data is a list. And that's what these little curly brackets top and bottom here are surrounding it, of names with values. So X, Y, and Z here each have a number. Forge caps is an empty NBT list. ID has a string, blood magic altar. Items has a list of items in the block, which is nothing, because there's nothing in it right now. I imagine if I were to place my sacrificial dagger in there, it says it now has an item of NBT data, count 1, slot 0, ID blood magic, that's the sacrificial dagger. It's in there, but it's going to run off the edge. So it knows. And then the last one is blood altar with a whole bunch of special stuff about the blood altar itself that's specific to this mod and this block. In there is the information we want. So we want to get that out so we can see it because it's going off the edge of the screen. So this is how we get a little bit more complicated, just a little bit, with integrator dynamics. We need to make this portable logic programmer. I am going to grab it and right-click, and it gives you this long, long list of all sorts of things we can do. These last few are not well named, but they can be useful. What we want to do is we want to get this NBT data and get the blood altar data out of it, which we know from looking at it was another NBT object. So, blood altar, so we want to get and then tag. If I click this now, NBT, this is an NBT, and that's their input, it says NBT. And then it needs another thing, a string, and it outputs an NBT. So here you give it an NBT object, a list of these name value pairs, and you give it a string, the name of one of those items, and it gives you the content of that item. And this, because it's get tag, it's getting the tag, the name of one of those elements as NBT. So I explained it, but let's actually do it. Maybe it's easier to understand. I'm going to click that in there. It gets like a ghost copy of it. And now I need a string. I don't have a string. So let's back up and make one. That's up near here at the top. If I click that, it says string. So now I've got a place to type in. And we want to type in blood altar, which is what we saw in the list when we were looking at it. Place a blank card in this slot. And now it's got the orange corners, or I guess red, of a string. And if we hover over it, it says the type is string, the value is blood altar, and it has an ID number, 88. This is going to be important going forward, those IDs. This one is ID 87. Each card you make is going to have a one higher ID. And this is type NBT. All right, so now we can do that. Get tag, give it the NBT, and give it the string. And there's a little green check mark saying it likes both of those. Place a blank card in here. And this has the light blue corners of an NBT object. And it says type is NBT. It says that the input type was NBT. Input type 2 is string. Those are these two. That's input 1, input 2. Output type is NBT. Its variable ID is 89, but it's above that. It says in the parentheses there, 87 and 88. So this was 87, and this was 88, and this is now 89. 87, 88, 89. And this 89 is using 87 and 88. This is how you're going to keep track of these. It can be a little difficult. You might want to take notes if you're doing something complicated on your own and you don't quite have a full grasp of how this works. Writing down what each card is and its number on a piece of paper or something, or a notepad file off to the side, lets you keep it all straight, because it can be a little bit confusing tracking everything, but we're going to try and keep it simple. All right, so now I've got this new NBT data, and I can put it in here and see what's in it. And we get a big red X. Why is that? Well, if we hover it over here, it says, variable with ID 87 could not be found within the current network. And it says the same thing for 88. Well, that's because we're holding them. It can't see them if we're holding them. That's what this block is for. If we put them in here, now it can see them. A good thing to note is that if we take these and we put them into displays, like there's the original text that we saw and there's the blood altar string we have, now it works because they're in the network. They're not in the variable store, but they are visible. But we're just going to put them in the variable store because we don't need to look at them right now. We want to look at this one. There is a lot of stuff in here. And you can see this one is changing. It's live. All of this information on these cards is live information because everything's connected. It's connected to that blood altar by the cable and the block reader. So it's seeing the information currently live. And obviously, for some reason, the mod has a tick counter as part of the block. I don't know why, but it does. You can see a tick in there. One of the things we can grab out of it here is upgrade level, lowercase u, uppercase L, and it has the value of 1 as a string, the word 1. Let's get that out because that is the current tier of our altar. So we take this card back out again because this is the NBT with all that information. Go into here. And we want to get the upgrade level. So we make a new string, upgrade level, assign it to a card. This is variable 90. And then go to our get. Now we're not going to do get tag, because get tag, if we open it up here, that returns an NBT. What we're getting at now is a string. This upgrade level is a string. So instead of get tag, we want get string. There it is. It takes an NBT and a string, NBT, and then the name of the field we want in the NBT, the upgraded level. Yep. And we place that into this. We have another string. While these two cards look the same, they're both string types with the orange. If you notice, this one is a constant. It's just upgrade level. While this one has extra different fields. This one is a live reading of our NBT data. And it says 89 and 90. So this is 89, this is 90. Those are the two that it's referring from. And now we can put it up here. And again, it can't see 89 or 90. But now it can. So that is the current level, tier level of our altar. And that will, because it's live, it will change as we upgrade our altar. We'll be able to quickly tell if it's all working by glancing at this screen. You can also make the divination tablet, but this is more fun. All right, let's do something a little bit more complicated. Slightly. And this is as complicated as it's going to get, this next thing. In here is, let's see, capacity. Capacity is 10,000. That's how much blood the altar can hold. And down here is amount, with a capital A for some reason. And that is currently 0. There is no blood in the altar, no life essence. Now, if you've ever tried working with blood magic before and tried piping out the blood, you'll know that it's rather slow to pipe. And the reason is it has a buffer, and the buffer capacity starts out at 1,000. You can increase that with some extra runes in the ziggurat below it, but it starts at 1,000. And that is an extra 1,000 above and beyond the 10,000 it can hold. And it will start filling that. Let's see, what is it called here? Well, we'll find out here because we can go ahead and put some blood in it. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and just put 400 in there. Ah, there it is. Output amount. See, that's going up and the amount is going down. So I put 400 in the amount, but it's being transferred into the output buffer. And now it's all in the output buffer. And if we were to look at it looks empty. So when you first put blood in it and it all seems to disappear, don't be alarmed. It's just transferring it into that output buffer that takes 1,000. Once that's full, it'll just stay there, and the rest of the blood will just stay inside the altar and start filling up that 10,000. So the first 1,000 blood you put in there is going to go into the output buffer, and it's going to stay there unless you ever hook a pipe up to it. There's not much you can do about that. You're going to lose the first 1,000. But now we can tell what's going on because we can see all this information, which is sort of neat. But let's pull out the amount. So let's get out our card again. Make a new string. Amount. Oop. Does have to be spelled correctly. I'm not sure if it cares about the case, but I'm going to make it match. Now this one is an integer. So we're going to do a get integer. So there's our NBT list. We want the amount, and there's the card for it. So I'm going to put my NBT data back in there. I'm going to put the string of amount in there. And then over here, I'll put in the value. So now if I add some more blood, you can see that there it's going down because it's being transferred over into the output buffer. It's at 680, 700. When it gets to 1,000, the drain should stop. It will. So we're at 900. So we're going to be at 400. It'll stop. There it is. So now we've got 1,000 in the output buffer and 400 in the amount. And so as I put some more blood in there, it goes up by 200. And this is nice, but I think it'll be more useful to see it as a percentage full. So let's change this to be a percentage. For that, we're going to do a little bit of math, like I said. Now, these are integers, which means they're whole numbers, no decimal points. I can get the capacity, which is called capacity lowercase. So let's do that. String capacity. Get, this is another integer. NBT, capacity string, capacity value. So put our NBT back in there, put the string in here. So now we've got the capacity, which I can put over here. And here we have how much we've got. So we've got these two numbers now, how much it holds and how much it currently contains. So if we take this number and divide it by that number, we get a percentage in the form of a decimal. So 50% would be 0.50. But these are integers, and at least in this system, when you divide two integers, you get another integer. And you're either going to get a 0 or a 1 because it's going to round it off to the nearest integer. So it's not too useful to do that. So what we want to do is multiply this by 100 first, then divide by this, and then we'll have a number between 0 and 100, which will make a nice display for percentage. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take this, multiply it by 100, and then divide by that. So this, that, let's make a new integer. There we go. Of 100. And put that one there. Let's move this over a little bit. So this is how much is in there, 100, and how much it can hold. So we'll scroll down here to multiply. So how much we've got times 100, new number, that. And we're going to do a divide of that divided by how much it holds. And that gets us a new number. Put there. This will be our percentage. Now I'm going to put all of these in here, except that one, which I'm going to put over here. 16%. Going up by 2% with every click, and that should be what it should be going up. And it should stop at 100 when it's completely full and not go any higher. There it is, 100. So we now have a percentage of how much blood is in life essence, is in the altar. So if we put something in there to start using the blood, let's see, let's get some stone. Put a piece of stone in. You can see it's starting to go down as it works. How far is it going to go down? Well, let's see here. I saw a new item appear here, liquid required, and it's set to 1,000. And it is progress is 0. So those two, liquid required is how much the current or the last craft needs, 1,000 life essence. And progress is how much of that life essence it is taken. It's just like our capacity and amount. So we can do the exact same thing for another display that shows the percentage of progress in the current craft. So, let me look at those again. What were the names? We have progress and liquid required with a capital R. So, liquid required. Oops. There we go. Delete that, and we're going to make a new one for progress. There we go. And we're going to get, these are integers again. NBT, liquid required. For that, I'm going to click this to clear it. Place a new one in there. And that is progress. I want to do the same math I did before, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to look for this one, integer value 100. We want to use that again. So this, I placed this one underneath its matching one. So this one is progress. So that's the one we want to do the multiplication with. So progress, card underneath it, times 100. Gets you that. Go to divide that. Divided by, this one is liquid required. And there we have the final one. So I'm going to put this back in there and put all the rest in here. See, that was the 100, and then all those. They don't matter. Doesn't matter where they go. I try and keep them somewhat organized. But to figure out which one is which, you have to come through here and start looking at the numbers and tracing back which one is which. Like, what's this one? Well, it's a multiplication of 102 and 96, and 96 is our 100 card, and 102 is this one, which is the read the NBT with the string. That's 89 and 100. 89 is our main NBT list, and 100 is a string. That's progress. So you can trace it back. Close that now, and over here, put that in. Now it's done with the crafting that it was doing, and it can't do another, which is why it's at 0. So if I take that out and put another stone in, there you can see its progress. And the blood level going down. Done. Need empty hand. So I think that's a sort of a fun little way to delve a little bit deeper into integrator dynamics. And it makes a nice display for using this thing. But I also want to make it automated as far as putting things in and taking things out. And we could use this, but that will get a little bit more complicated. And I don't think I want to do that. We're going to do a different mod, one that we've already touched on. Oh, I should have grabbed the parts. There we go. We're going to use Super Factory Manager. So up here is the backs of this chest and the 2 drawers. And I'm going to connect them with this inventory cable. I'm going to go down beneath. There we go. And that is the bottom of the blood altar. I'm going to connect those and then place factory manager. So now it is connected to the blood altar and those drawers and chest over there. And what happened to the... I didn't grab it somehow. All right, put in a disk. Now we're going to program it. Now, I don't know if I've ever actually set it on camera, but all of the macros that I used back at the beginning of the series are on my Discord and in the room called Stuff. And this program will also be there, or a version of it. But we're going to go ahead and type it right now. And here I'm going to call it Transfusions. I think it's just called Blood Magic on the in the Discord. But here we go. So I guess I should explain what I want to have it do first here. So this was my idea. I want to be able to put in stone, a whole lot of stone in this drawer. And I want it to go into the altar, get converted to blank slates, and once the conversion is complete, have it get put into this chest. But I want to be able to choose which tier of slate I'm making. If you put in a piece of stone, it turns into one of these blank slates. At the next tier of the altar, if you put in a blank slate or leave it in there, then it will go to reinforced slate. And each tier will let it craft another time to go farther. You could just put in one that comes before and let it upgrade, or you can put in a piece of blank stone every time and let it do each upgrade in turn until it gets to where you want it to be and then gets pulled out. So I need some way to tell it where to stop. And that's what I'm going to use this drawer for. So what I want to be able to do is take whatever comes before the stop and place it here. So if I put stone in here, I want it to pull out these blank slates, which is the next step. And if I put a blank slate in there, I want it to pull out reinforced slates, the one that comes after blank slate. It can put in it'll put in whatever's in this drawer. So it'll put in stone, or I can put in blank slates. Either one will work. It'll just take a little longer for stone because it's got to start from the beginning. But this tells the system when I want to take things out. So let's see to doing that. We're going to get the label maker, and we're going to have to do some labeling. Oh, I already did it. This one is called mode. Go above here. There we go. This drawer is called mode. So what mode we want to operate in. This is the output chest. This is the stone chest, even though it's a drawer. And then down there is the altar. And that's all we need. And I can right-click on there to stick them into the program. All right, so now it knows what all these blocks are. So we want to base this off of what's in the mode drawer. So if mode has exactly equal to 1, and we'll use asterisk stone, then, so I have a piece of stone in the mode drawer, right our end. Always got to have an end. So if that's in there, we want to make sure, we only want to put a new stone into the altar if the altar is empty. So let's write a check to make sure that the altar is empty. Altar has exactly 0 of anything, then end. We're going to input 1 of whatever from stone chest. And we're going to output that to the altar. Now, once there's something in there, this same program is going to run once a second. So it's going to come back in here. It's going to see that there's a stone in our mode chest, but the altar doesn't have anything in it because it's doing the craft. At some point, it's going to be done, and it needs to pull the result out. So we want to pull only a blank rune from a blank slate from the altar. So we're going to say forget here because we don't want it still holding on to anything from this step, just in case. And we're going to say input blank with asterisks around it. So this is the full name that the system uses. So it's like blood magic : blank _ slate, I think. But the asterisk is like anything before and after is fine, as long as it has blank in it. Anything with blank in its name. And it's not the name that you see when you're playing the game. It's got to be the internal name. And as we work on this script, some of them are not quite the same as they look when you're holding the item and seeing the name of the item in your hand. And anyway, input blank from the altar. And I'm going to go outside the if block here to put the output. So output, whatever you've got, to output chest. So it'll always try and do that at the end of this program. Whatever it's got, it'll try and put in the output chest. All right. That will almost work. Actually, that will work, but I want to be able to stop it at any time. So if I take the piece of stone that I have in the mode drawer out, I want it to empty out whatever's in the altar. So we're going to write if mode, so our mode chest, has nothing in it, whoops, is equal to 0 of anything, and the altar has more than 0 of anything. So I've taken the stone out of the mode chest, but there's something in the altar. Then we want to take whatever's in the altar, input star from altar. And at least right now, if I do this, it's going to be a piece of stone in there because it hasn't finished the craft. I don't want it to put the stone in the output chest. So since the stone chest can only take stone, go ahead and try and put it in there first. So we'll say output whatever to stone chest. If it doesn't fit, then it'll drop down and put it in the output chest. All right. I think, I have a problem in there. So if I click this, you can't see it, but it's given me in my clipboard the script, and it tells me, I had a typo. One of my froms is just FOM. Can we see it in here? Right here. From. Now it's happy. State running. All right, let's go back up. There is nothing in there. But if we put, and there's 61 in there, if we put that in there, 60. Oh, look, there is a piece of stone. And I probably need to put some more life essence into it. There we go. It finished, it took it out, and it put a new one in. And there's the blank slate it made. I'll toss these in there. So now that is running. And working just fine. There's a slight pause. There's this cooldown. Cooldown after crafting. Currently at 0. There it is. It's like 30 ticks. It's like a second and a half that it pauses before it'll start a new craft. You can actually see that happening here in this internal information about the altar. Now I made another macro that if I'm standing here within range of the altar, so that I can right-click my Dagger of Sacrifice, if I hit the pause key on my keyboard, I've got a pause key, it'll start just clicking away at the right mouse button. So if I'm holding the sacrificial dagger, and I've picked a speed that works for me with maximized regeneration and saturation from the ability bottles from the mob farm. Do not get this script from the Discord and run it if you do not have that sort of regeneration and saturation, because this will kill you quick. Hitting pause again will stop it. And you can change the script to be a different key if you want, or change the timing to take longer between clicks. But the way I've got this speed going, I could actually leave this running all night. Put a whole bunch of stone in the drawer, go to bed, get up in the morning, and be just fine, and we'll have a whole lot of blank slates. Looks like we've got enough to progress. If I take that out, it's empty. It put the stone back. Let me test that here. So there's 49 in there. Put this in there. It's 48, so put one in, take it out, and it's back to 49. So put the stone back in there. All right. That's pretty good. Now, we can go ahead and upgrade to the next tier of the altar by making the first of the orbs, which needs a diamond in a tier 1, and it takes 2,000 LP. So a diamond, now that's twice as much as one of these runes takes. But we'll still have a nice percentage because we're taking into account the liquid required. So right now it still says 1,000. If I take that out, put that in, this should send it over. Yep. Whoa. And that, yeah, now it says 2,000 for liquid required, and the percentage, it's going twice, going half as fast because it takes twice as much of the life essence. And it will not take it out because it doesn't know anything about blood orbs. So there it is. But if I take this out, it'll put it back in the drawer. Now if we crouch right click, yeah, now it's assigned to me. If I do this, I crouch, doesn't seem to be putting any blood in it, but that's fine. I can put it back in there to get blood into it. I don't need that, but just to show, I can put it back in. I guess it's full already. All right, so we've done that. Now let's go ahead and use it to make some runes. And for the moment, we're just going to do blank runes. Ignore that orb. We don't have that orb yet. All right, we've got 8 runes. Come down here. And I think one of the faster ways, to replace them would be to use an exchange gadget. So if I crouch right click on this block and then go poof. Didn't get these two because they've got the pipe over them. All right, so that should now read level 2, and it does. So that updated correctly. Still 10,000 capacity. That doesn't change with the tier. It only changes if you add special runes. We just got the blank runes. So now we need to alter our program to handle the next tier. And it's going to be very easy because we're just going to select this if mode has 1 stone, copy it, and paste a copy of it right here. I'm going to change stone to be blank, which is what the output of the last one was. And the output of this one is reinforced. And since we're doing this, let's do it 2 more times. And so the output of the reinforced becomes the input for the next one. And its output, this is one that's slightly different than it is in the game. Infused is what it is internally. It's imbued when you're holding the item. So make sure you get that one right. It's infused, not imbued, at least in the script. And we're going to copy that one. And its output is not demonic, it's just demon. So those two are a little different. And now, hit done, and we won't have to touch that program again. It is now set for all the tiers. So if I put the stone back in there, but now I take one of those, well, let's just go ahead and put a piece of stone in there, and that'll turn it into a blank slate. If we take that stone out and instead put the blank slate in there, it'll put stone in there now, and it'll still run. Let's give it some more of my life essence. But when that converts to a blank slate, it's not going to take it out because we have the blank slate over there. It's going to run it up the next level, and we will get the reinforced. There it goes. And we now have a reinforced slate. We can go ahead and just do a lot of all of these. Next we want to do is make speed runes. That'll speed this whole process up, and it takes 2 blank slates around a regular blank rune. So we can take one of the runes we've got down there, and with 2 additional blank slates and some other materials, we can replace it with a speed rune, which will speed up the crafting. But we probably also want to make an equal number of runes of sacrifice, and these take the reinforced. I think they also require the next tier of the orb, which is apprentice. So in a tier 2 altar, which we have, we want a block of redstone. So we'll get that out. Yep. Redstone. Oh yeah, it just wants 1. It doesn't like multiples, because I told it when there's 1. I guess I should make it greater than 0 and not equal to 1. I'll try and remember to change that in the script on the server. Oh, it's getting low on on life. It's about to run out. Don't let it do that, because then it will lose. Actually, I guess I should see it. When you run out of blood, it starts getting, instead of the red particles, it gets like a black smoke particles. And this number will probably go down, the progress. Don't know if we're going to run out. Yeah, I guess we're going to run out. No, it's going to make it. Just barely. There's only a little bit of blood left in there. Take that out, and then we have the next orb. So now we can make the runes of self-sacrifice as well. Just need a few more reinforced slates. So let me make those, and as I make more and more runes, I can add them to this second layer. I already have the necessary blocks and glowstone hidden away here. I can probably make runes for out here, but they won't work because they need something special at the top, and that'll be the next thing we do. So let me go ahead and make a bunch more runes, and we'll be right back after this episode break. We've reached the end of this episode, so we're going to stop here and pick it up in the next one. I wanted to do it all in one episode, but just not quite enough time. So, until next time, this is Nonsanity signing out. Take care, be good, and see you next time.